I think at my darkest moment, I was in a hotel with like meth, and I was feeling very, very broken. I'm like, I don't know how to stop. Nobody's helping me. I was kind of like the scapegoat in my family, and I think I was always also perceived as very, very strong, and I would figure it out. So it was even harder to ask for help. I think for me, that was an issue I had too.
Welcome back to the Hopeaholics Podcast. I'm your girl, Natalie Eva Marie.
And I'm Chad Carlson, and you're listening to the #1 addiction and mental health podcast.
And you guys, if you or a loved one is struggling, make sure you head to askevamarie.com or chaddick.com and chat with one of our AI companions 24/7.
Or text the number right here on the screen.
Together, we are breaking the stigma around addiction and mental health.
And fighting the fentanyl epidemic.
Now, let's get into the episode.
All right, Sonia, welcome to the Hopeaholics Podcast.
Hey, thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Should I say
Again.
welcome back?
Yeah, welcome back.
We're on, right?
We're on. Yeah,
Okay.
we're on.
We're going. We're rolling.
All right.
It's so much more calm and relaxed than I feel like the Recover Out Loud, because you did the Recover Out Loud meeting.
I did. Yeah.
That's way more scary to me.
I can see that with you. You seem way more relaxed on this one than because you're running, right? A lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, you're facilitating.
There's
amongst a
like
lot of
50
people.
some people and it's live, and I'm like, whoa, what if I say something stupid?
See, I like that shit. I like it exhilarating.
Oh, well,
Gets
yeah.
my, like, juices going.
Get your juices going, huh? Nice. Well, welcome back. And thanks for coming back.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me back. And Natalie, it's so nice to meet you.
Yes.
I didn't get to meet you
I
last
know.
time. So it's nice to be
Oh,
here.
see,
with
I was
both of
running
you.
the show by myself,
You were.
too.
That's probably why she was like, "Who you were frantic, boy."
Yeah. Off the chains. I didn't have anybody to keep me,
I'll hold you together.
hold me together.
That's right.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for having me here. I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Super important, especially the Recover Out Loud. The Hopeaholics, I love it. I usually in my line of work, I've been telling a lot of my people, hey, go check this out. It's really good.
Thank
Doesn't
you.
discriminate. So I just kind of want to give you guys, your flowers on that. You guys are doing amazing.
Awesome. Thank you for doing that. We're just trying to spread the word and spread the message, and primarily like the message of hope, right?
Hope.
Because like that's all we need when
Yeah.
we're in that darkness. If we could find a glimmer of hope, just a mustard seed, it's all we need.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, for a lot of us that were suffering, a lot of people that are out there suffering, it's just that little tiny bit of hope, right?
Yeah.
I know if I think back of like when I was really struggling and really, really suffering, it was the smallest thing that just like, okay, reminded me. I think there's hope.
Yeah.
I might get help. I think it does get better. So
Before we roll backwards,
Yeah.
I want to. You're a therapist.
I am a licensed psychotherapist, LCSW. I specialize in Brainspotting.
Nice.
Also, I have a couple of podcasts. I have one where we record in English and Spanish, and it's on mental health.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really cool with my co-host, who's also a therapist. I'm bilingual, right? So I grew up in Pomona, right? So it's like this stuff, therapy and stuff like this we didn't talk about this in our Latino culture. We just didn't, right? And so, I think a lot of what I do is really cool. I think it's all God just really directing my steps throughout, using all of my pain and everything that I went through to really help others.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. That's very special, I think, when we get chosen to do something like this.
Right.
Like for both of you, too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So,
We just fell into it. No, I didn't.
did too.
I almost died in a car accident
Same.
in Pomona, right off the 10 freeway in Pomona. I was driving to West Covina, actually La Puente, to pick up from this Chicana that I knew out there that was running the.
She was your connect?
She was my connect. Yeah. She's probably the craziest chick I've ever met in my life.
I might know her. No, just kidding.
She probably, she got to be our age because this was, I was, like 24. So she got to be right around.
How old are you now?
52.
Okay.
So she's got to be somewhere between like your age and my age.
Yeah.
I would guess. She was a fucking nut. Like, I mean, straight gangbanger.
Oh.
You know, like.
Like a guy.
Like, well, I mean, I don't know if she was like a guy, but like her guy was like the head of one of the of something out there.
Okay.
And he was in fighting a 25 to life case, I recall. And she was running his
She took
dope.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, she took over the business, right?
Yep, she took over the business. And like I would hang out with her for a while. Like we go like
you
just
guys got along.
smoke fucking meth and drive down the freeway. It was like nuts.
That does sound nuts.
Doing like 120 on the freeway.
Oh no. Lucky to be alive.
I'm lucky to be alive.
Actually, it's interesting you say that. I was in a car accident myself. I probably should have died. I'm lucky I got away. I ran off. That's a whole other story. But nothing happened to me. Car got totaled. No DUI, thankfully. There's a story behind that. But it was in Pomona, right off the 71 freeway.
Yeah.
I was single mom. I was working at Zendejas at that time. Are you guys familiar with Zendejas? It
No.
was like, he played for the Rams. He was like a kicker many years ago. So then he opened up his restaurants and so I worked as a waitress, right? And I'm an alcoholic. So I'm working at a bar and it was the funnest thing ever. Cause like I got to party with everyone and drink. But that night I drove home and flipped into a ditch. It was, that gave me pretty bad PTSD.
Yeah. Mine was pretty gnarly too. I literally rolled end over end down the embankment off the 10 freeway in Pomona and it gave me PTSD too.
Mine was off of the, the 71 freeway off the off ramp. I think it's like Phillips Ranch Road. There's like,
How old were you?
I was 22 years old.
And did you hit anyone or was it just you?
It was
solo. Thank God for solo
It was just me. Yes,
Yeah.
it was just me. By the grace of God, I was like, I got away. Yeah. So, I got away. I left and I ran home.
Wow.
How much? What's your sobriety date?
So December 27th is my sobriety date. 2012. It's 13 years alcohol.
Nice.
But I have a lot more years not using drugs. Like I was addicted to meth. So, and I shared this last time, right? I was in a very abusive relationship. So when I left that abusive relationship with some dude in Pomona who I signed my house off to, and he still lives there. But anyways,
wow.
A whole other story. But these are some of the things that I was going through. I was in a very abusive relationship. And so I had to leave. And so when I left, I struggled. I was even afraid to ask for child support. That's how kind of frightened I was. I was a teenage mom too. I was 16 years old when I got pregnant. So later on, I become a single mom and I moved to Upland. And that's where I think my whole little drug career began because I met this girl who lived right across the street from me and she was into coke and she was like, so she introduced me to it. And at that time, I am a single mom, but I'm also like, I'm going to Mount Sac. Did you grow up by Mount Sac?
I didn't.
Okay, Walnut Creek? No?
Oh my God, yeah. Northern California.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm like confusing it because I was like, wait, I like to read up on people, to get to know them and stuff. Okay, I totally got that confused. I got it confused with Walnut, which is by Mount Sac.
Which all of those are up north too, where I'm like,
are they really?
Sac for sure. Walnut Creek.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to Mount Sac Junior College here in Walnut, right? Like by Pomona, by Cal Poly Pomona. And I'm a single mom and I have to work and I have to do my homework and I'm doing this all like by myself, like no child support, nothing. So like that was working. That really helped me. I was like, wow, I could do this. I'm like super mom. I could do it all. And that became very expensive. Like cocaine got pretty expensive. And so then somebody introduced me to crystal meth. And it was so good for a little bit. And then instantly I was hooked. I was hooked right away. And that was awful. Those are like the worst days of my life, I would say, on crystal meth, because I got addicted instantly to crystal meth.
Me too.
You did, yeah.
First time I did it. Never stopped.
No.
Until the handcuffs went on the first time. It was like 10 years before that happened. No.
You know,
it's crazy.
Luckily, I don't know, again, by the grace of God, I didn't have any legal problems. I was very fortunate.
Yeah. It's a blessing.
It's a big blessing because you hear this in the rooms all the time, right? Like people get in trouble, and I should have gotten several DUIs, but back to the crystal meth, I got addicted right away, and but I thought I was in control. I think like we all do, right? It's like I'm in control and I can handle it, and then it just kind of took over me, probably within 6 months. And then it just wasn't fun anymore, right? Then it was just like, oh my God, I need this. And I just became this really horrible person I didn't know. And I had my baby. I had my little girl who's like 5 years old at that time. And I'm very depressed and very anxious because I have PTSD. At 16, it's like maybe 14 years old, I get with my first daughter's father. And that became like, you hear of teen violence, and it's real. It's a real thing. And so that was, I was like, it's like I was conditioned to come across this type of person because I was, growing up, I grew up with, and I'm going to go all over the place. You guys are okay, right? Just kind of bouncing back and forth. But so it's my older brother, and then it's me, and then it's a younger sister and younger brother. So it's 4 of us. And we grew up really poor, like government assistance, because my father was an alcoholic. He couldn't keep a job. So he was very absent. He was very sweet, my dad. He had his own trauma. He came from Mexico, and his father was extremely abusive. Like he'd wake up and he would pee on himself because he was so frightened of his dad. So that was that trauma. So, when he immigrated here and stuff, it's like he had a really hard time adjusting, obviously. But also he just had a hard time with all of that trauma. And so his idea of like breaking cycles for him was like, I'm just never going to hit my children. Like, I'm never going to hit them. I'm never going to lay a hand on them. But he continued in his addiction and just kind of being absent. I can really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I love him for that. He's passed since. He died in his alcoholism too. Yeah. His name was Amado. I actually named my center Corazon Amado Healing Center. Corazon means heart. Yeah. And Amado means loved, but that's actually his name. So like loved heart. Just to honor him. I think that's why I'm so passionate about this work too, because I don't think he ever got the tools for sure at all. So where was I? So
there's 4 of you. You guys grew up really poor.
Yeah. So super poor, but so a little bit about me. I was very into school. That was like my safety zone, my teachers and like activities. I think that's just how I figured out how to like raise my self-esteem and just how to feel good about things like, student council and band. Like I was such a nerd. I did really, really well in school. So I think I'm super thankful, right, for the school system because I think it just provided even like the extracurricular activities and performing in plays and stuff like that. that was really helpful for me. I'm glad I was able to sort of channel a lot of that pain I had. I didn't know I was doing it at the time, but if I look back, I'm like, oh, that was kind of cool. You know, little Sonia was kind of trying to find her own kind of coping. So there was that. It was very, my junior year, my dad had to leave. He left. He committed a crime in self-defense.
Yeah.
We'll say.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I really believe. But he left and he died. And it was pretty tragic, actually. You know, I don't mean to laugh, but I think I can laugh because I've healed a lot of that. You know, I've healed a lot of that. I'm a therapist, so I have to kind of do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I can look back and honor my dad really and just say, wow, my dad was very ill. I'm so sorry he didn't make it to that other side, right? Where we've been able to see the sobriety of it, like so many people don't. But in his own way, he broke some traumatic cycles within his family. He didn't pass that on to me, which maybe was the reason why I decided to actually leave that abusive boyfriend too, you know, and finally say, I'm done. Like, I'm not going to keep getting my ass beat. So that was very, so you can see, right? You can see the trauma, right? Kind of piling up and stuff. So I start medicating with a lot of alcohol. I started drinking at 14. Yeah. Just like, what was it? Like Strawberry Hills?
Yeah. Boone's Farm.
Yeah. All of those
Emily
girly
doesn't know
drinks.
anything about it.
No, Emily's so young, huh? Do you remember the girl? What was your first drink?
Mine was peppermint schnapps.
Okay.
Mine was orange juice and vodka. First time I got drunk.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
And I passed out and threw up, and I can still not this day smell orange juice and vodka. It's disgusting.
It's kind of like how I am with like Red Bull. I can't fuck with Red Bull. Like,
there's certain stuff you just can't smell anymore.
I don't know what it is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It triggers. I mean, it's the senses.
But we used to drink a lot of Boone's Farm was our jam. Boone's Farm, the wine coolers.
Wine coolers.
Yeah, the 4-pack of wine coolers.
Those were delicious back in the day. And then I hear now there's all kinds of other sweet
there's
drinks.
Tons of like little seltzer drinks. That
Do those taste good?
I don't know. I've never had.
I know. See, I'm like, man, I didn't get to enjoy that.
Never got a White Claw.
Right.
I just feel like there's no way I would drink a White Claw though. Like I'm way too manly for that.
Well, I'm
like,
way too
there's
much.
no fucking way I'm gonna open up a White Claw.
Well, and I drank to like get the effect.
If I was gonna,
so a White Claw, I'm gonna have to down 12.
now if I was gonna have a drink,
how much liquid?
Yeah.
If I was gonna have a drink, it'd be like
cognac,
like bourbon or something, you know, like a man's drink,
like a man's
something
drink.
that when you drink it, it puts hair on your chest.
Yeah, and like a little.
Then you got to shave it off, but it still puts hair on your chest.
With the nice thick glass with the little ice cubes.
Like,
yep, just like that. And then you just
a little smoky one.
Yeah. I don't know. Now I'm thirsty.
Oh my gosh, I know. You know what? It's funny though, right? Like you got me thinking about like even us recovering alcoholics. Like sometimes in the summertime, I thought of this because I saw the street as Paseo Cerveza.
Oh, I know, right?
And I'm like,
crazy?
Yeah, I was like, is it really cerveza? I'm like,
really
that's
is.
beer.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it really is.
So it got me thinking. My drink was beer.
Oh wow.
I know it's weird, right? But I used to drink a lot of beer. That was like.
Did you have a brand? Everybody has a brand.
For a while it was like the Coors Light.
Yeah.
And then for like when I was young.
Coors Light was what I drank when I was young.
So Bud Light, a lot of Bud Lights. But for a while, which one was the one with like less calories? Because for a while I was counting my calories, and I'm like, I gotta just.
It was like, I know there's light beer by Miller. That one's like that.
It was one of the first ones that came out.
I don't remember
because it's been a while. Right? I'm 13 years that I haven't had beer, but it was usually those.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Bud Light. Which one was that green bottle? Stella.
Oh yeah,
I used to drink
Stella.
the Heinekens in the
Stella
green
Heinekens.
bottle.
Yeah, that
or the
one.
Mickey Big Mouths. Those are amazing.
So
all you alcoholics out there, I apologize.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. We're really going
we're
back
not
to
meaning
these,
to glamorize.
No.
Yeah, I'm not. I really don't mean to glamorize it, but it's just kind of funny. I was like, paseo cerveza. So interesting. That was my, so that's what.
What does it mean? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Since you're bilingual, is it?
Yeah.
I've been told it means the journey to beer.
Paseo cerveza means, I would say beer road.
Beer road.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Or journey to road. Paseo is, it could be either or. Yeah.
Paseo.
It's crazy. That was the first thing I noticed.
When you roll up into the rehab that you're checking into later today, guys, it's on Paseo Cerveza. So Beer Road brought you to rehab. Just let you know.
Really, isn't that ironic?
Beer Road brought you to rehab.
I love it.
Or the beer journey.
I think I think God is so like there's
He's funny.
nothing. Yeah, there's. One of the things when I work with my patients and I do brain spotting, that's one of the things. It's like curiosity. Nothing is like random, right? So, anyways, so
yes,
I know we were talking about our early drinks, right?
Yes.
So, started drinking that, drinking. I got with my daughter's father, right? He was also a drinker, so that was 2 drinkers, right?
Yep.
And then we would fight, and it was very toxic. So. Anyways, had a baby with him at 17. I did graduate and I continued with school. So that was good. I'm very proud of myself for continuing that journey, right? And then I did leave him because it was like, I can't do this. Like, I need to have some self-respect. I need to do something. So when I left, again, I was alone. And that's when the drug stuff started. And that was really, really challenging. That was tough.
This episode is brought to you by Wolfpack Bags. This gear is meant for anybody gym, lifestyle, to anybody that's on the move. I mean, I like to say that us here and everybody that tunes in, we're not average. We're always a wolf. They have all the goods that you need, especially for anybody that is looking for a bag to carry their meal prep, a lunch pail, anything like that. They have you covered. So once again, go to wolfpack.com, use the code Hopeaholics, save 10%, and join the pack.
I think at my darkest moment, I was in a hotel with like meth. And I was feeling very, very broken. I'm like, I don't know how to stop. Nobody's helping me. I was kind of like the scapegoat in my family, and I think I was always also perceived as very, very strong, and I would figure it out. So it was even harder to ask for help. I think for me that was an issue I had to, because like even instead of leaving, the abusive person and asking for help with my mom, like I was like, I can't go back and ask for help. Plus we grew up very poor. I knew resources were kind of low, so I always had to figure things out. Where am I?
You're in the hotel room?
I'm in the hotel room and I'm just really depressed. So again, untreated PTSD, no therapy still at this time. And I pull out my little baggie and I'm like, all right, I don't care. I'm going to just use. I don't care. I'm going to use it all. There were moments prior to that, like when I lived in Upland, where this was when I wouldn't have my little girl because we would share custody. And so I literally would get high and I'd have the phone right next to me just in case I felt I was going to overdose, and it was a lot of self-destructive behavior I couldn't understand, but it was also numbing a lot of the pain I was dealing with. So then this time, again, it's like Burbank, and I'm staying at a hotel room. And I talked about my boyfriend last time because it was a very kind of toxic relationship with him too. This is the guy I met after my first abusive person. But this guy became my husband, and we had 3 daughters together. So, and we're still together. We've been married for 20 years. Yeah, December. So things can change also within toxic relationships. I'm just saying, but I'm not promoting that, but I'm just saying that, sometimes I think when God has a plan, he has a plan, and he can really sometimes restore people and even couples. So that time, there had been issues. And so I went to a hotel and I was just really tired. I was very depressed. I didn't know what to do. I was very ashamed of myself. Just that feeling where you're like, who am I? I would look at myself in the mirror and it just like, you used to be a class president and you used to do this and it was like, what are you doing? Who are you? I didn't recognize myself. And I didn't like who that person was. I really did not. So I go to the hotel room and I'm upstairs and it's late and I'm crying because I'm a mess again. I was a mess many times. And so I start using, and then I had this thought of just ending it. Yeah, just using and just ending my life. And as that was happening, something told me, like, go and get that Bible. You know, every hotel room has that Gideon Bible.
The one that's out on our table right there that Peter must have stole from a hotel.
Yeah.
That's a funny story. I've heard of people stealing Bibles from hotels, but hey, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Spread the message.
Hey,
spread the word.
There you go.
Spread the word.
I think they put them in there for that reason.
Exactly.
So somebody
So I went in there and I start reading, and it was powerful because God started speaking to me, but he started speaking to my spirit like hardcore. He was disciplining me, and I was like, but then as I kept reading, it was like, but now come to me, and now come back to me. And like, I'm here and I'm going to raise you up and I'm going to lift you up. It was Psalms, I think, somewhere in Psalms.
Psalms are so great.
I know, right? So I kept reading. And then before the end of the night, I felt so much peace. So I didn't act upon it, right? I was able to go to sleep, which was weird. Because how do you go to sleep? How did I go to sleep that night? I always wondered. Like, usually when you're high, you don't sleep. So,
right.
But I went to sleep. Maybe I just read a lot of Psalms. And so the next morning, I remember waking up and leaving, and even just being in the elevator, and just like a couple just looking at me and giving me like the brightest smile. I think they probably saw my pain or whatever. And so we're always transmitting energy to each other, right? And so I think in that moment, that's what I needed, and that's what they did. And their smile was so lovely. And that was a little bit of hope. You know, like sometimes it's just that little smile or a word, or the word of God, you know? So that night, God saved me again. God saved me many, many times. But I will say, the way I did stop using crystal meth was listening to Pastor Greg Laurie. And this is a crazy story because, again, back to Burbank and my boyfriend, we're both toxic and we're fighting, and he's kind of tired of me now. He's really tired, and I'm tired of him too, but like, I don't want to leave him because I have anxious attachment. And so I'm like, okay, it's over. So I'm driving back to Pomona. I'm like, oh my God, I got to go back to my mom's now. Now I really have to humble myself and ask for help because I need help. And that was the plan. And I'm driving and I'm listening to Spanish rock, and then it just kind of switches over staticky, and it's Pastor Greg Laurie, and then again I switch it back to my Spanish rock, and it happens a couple times. And then finally I listen. And I listen to Greg Laurie's message like all the way down until I get off in Pomona, like on Holt, and I pull over a little street, and I'm listening to the message, and it really spoke to me for the first time. Like we all have a role to play, right? Like, I've been in victim mentality all of this time, and I have a role to play in my life and in my recovering what I do. I can't keep blaming others. So I think for the first time, his words really kind of got to me, and I was able to, as I mentioned at the last podcast, I repented. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm sorry, I haven't been living right. Like, please forgive me. Come into my life. Like, help me, guide me. What do I do? And I said the prayer that, they ask you to say. And after that, I just kind of I went like hardcore, and I started studying the Bible by myself in my room. That was my rehab. I didn't go to an actual rehab that time, outpatient meetings or anything like that. And then like 3 months later, I was pregnant. So that was also something that really kept me from using. I think I don't know, there was just something deep within me that couldn't bring myself to kind of use. I was tempted. That was a very hard time too, because there was, you're getting off of these drugs and you still have those cravings and you still have the urge to use, but it's like, I'm pregnant now.
Yeah.
Nah, we're going to ride this through. We're not going to do this. And luckily I was able to, and I never touched a drug from them. But then the drinking kind of continued, right? The drinking continued, and it was more like just beer.
It's like socially acceptable too, right? Like even in church, like not the church I grew up in, but most churches, it's totally acceptable for people to, have a beer or two or a drink or have some wine or whatever. As a matter of fact, in the Catholic Church, they give you wine.
Yes.
For communion.
Yep.
Yes.
In the you ever see the priest?
Oh, yeah.
He takes
a big old swig.
Lots of extra swigs, man.
I always, as a kid, I used to always say that. I was like, dang, our priest drinks a lot of that. Holy water.
He's got to have some extra Jesus blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. The Jesus blood. But where were we?
You started drinking.
Yeah.
So the drinking, right? Wine.
I have a question before we get into that.
Yes.
Where are your siblings?
Okay.
During this time, are they living with your mom? Are you guys still close at this?
That's a
kind
great
of
question,
junction?
Natalie. Yeah, I'm kind of distant.
Okay.
Right, kind of doing my own
Yep.
thing. They know something is off, but they don't know how to talk to me, and they don't really know how to address me.
Sure.
I remember one time I called my mom when I was in Upland, and I was like, I was withdrawing, and I was like, I need help. I'm like, I need help. I don't know who to call. I need help. And my mom was like crying. She got my sister, and they came over, and then they kind of talked to me, but that's just, I think, as far as it got during that time. They didn't know kind of what resources were available to. And there was also, I think, a lot of resentment towards me from my family. And they were probably really disappointed. They're very disappointed in me because I was like I wasn't supposed to get pregnant young. I was supposed to do everything right. My mom would, I grew up Catholic. I had all my sacraments, right? And like when my mom would talk to us about sex, it was like, this is not a put down towards anybody really, but it was not very realistic for my time, right? And for her, it was like, it's such a wonderful thing to remain like a virgin till you get married and stuff. But there was nothing else that was kind of talked about as far as like, protect yourself or whatever. It wasn't. So I think that kind of aspect, that's an interesting part, right? That's the religious part also that kind of had an impact on me. And I think my sexuality.
Sure.
Right? Because as a girl, naturally we're teenagers and our hormones are acting up, but if we were told you cannot do that, it's like it would have maybe been more helpful to have been taught about sex education by my mother. But anyways, that was kind of like her way of being, right? So it wasn't really to my timing. It was very like not relevant. It was very old school. Very, very religious too. So, gosh, I sound like I was just kind of bashing it. Now I'm not bashing it at all, but I'm just saying that was my upbringing. That's kind of how it was. And so, I got with the guy pretty young. So I was around him a lot. My mom often always said, Sonia became very independent at a very young age. Right. So it was very easy for me to kind of hide a lot of stuff and keep stuff from my family too. So there was that piece. I think my younger brother and my older brother, they probably felt really sorry for me, really sad, but they didn't know how to help me. And my sister, I think my sister also probably, she just didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was very hard. That was a really interesting dynamic there. So they were happy. When I got with my husband now and I had babies and then I went back to school. So that was all good. I think a big part of it was I gave my life to God and I started listening to God and kind of really following his path, listening to my intuition and healing and really healing. And so one of the first jobs I got was in a domestic violence shelter.
Oh, wow.
I know. It was kind of cool how God, again, took me to this DV shelter. I was a bilingual housing advocate. So I would help all these women. I would interview them and then I would help them get housing. And when I was interviewing them, it was, I was like, oh, shoot, I want to do this. This is what I want to do. Like, tell me your story. I was all about the storytelling. Like, I want to hear it and I want to help you too. So from there, it brought me a lot of healing because I got trained in it and I got to help other people. But it also brought me healing from my own domestic violence situations. And then that actually then led me to, all right, I got to go back to school now and get my bachelor's degree. And then from there, I went and I got my master's degree. And then I got licensed. But all throughout, I was still drinking. So I was kind of self-medicating.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
Yeah.
kind of binge drink every now and
Sure.
then. It was a struggle. And so at that time, I already had this relationship with God. So that was another thing that I would often struggle with. Like, God, I go to church. We're going to church every Sunday and I love you and I'm praying and I'm this. Like, take this away from me. Like, what is going on? Right? I would pray. It was very frustrating. And then he'd always lead me to scripture and it would hold me, it'd hold me up for another week or another month. Right? That's kind of how he works. And it was frustrating because I couldn't get sober. I even did this whole like experiencing God class. Have you heard of that one?
Mm-mm.
It's, I don't remember the author, but it was a whole experiencing God. It was very powerful. I had like a really nice spiritual experience encounter with God, but I wasn't drinking for 3 months. It kept me not drinking for 3 months, but that was it. And then it just kind of went right back. So it was like a nice spiritual experience for the moment, but then it just kind of, I don't know, it went away, it didn't stick. Until I was in my master's program. And I got pregnant that year and I gave birth and I had to finish my thesis. And that's like a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm like hustling and mind you, I have my house and I have my husband and I have my 3 daughters and I'm pregnant. And then I give birth and then I have to go right back to school because like I got to hurry up, right? And I have to finish my internship and my thesis. And so it was just way too much. So before I knew it, like within 3 months, I'm drinking again. Right? I'm drinking a lot more, probably like a month later. And then my body just gave up on me. And then I just fell into like, I started having major panic attacks and then severe depression. And then I just couldn't. And God was like, that's it. We are stopping here. And I was in bed for like a whole week. I could not get up. I was so burned out and I was so depressed. It was all the stuff that happens to us, So I decided to take a leave of absence from school. And it was so sad and it was so hard because I literally had like, you're with your cohort and I had a quarter left. I had 3 months left. That was sad. But again, I'm glad I can laugh about it. And I needed that. I needed that whole year. See, when you take a leave of absence at that school with my program, I couldn't like come back in a month or 2 months. I had to wait an entire year to start with the next year's program. So that was rough. When they graduated came along, I made sure I wasn't looking at anything because it was just so painful. Like that was my cohort. I didn't get to graduate with them, but it was bittersweet, but it was all good. Because then I joined my new cohort, and they were so awesome, and they welcomed me, and I ended up graduating and, you know, getting licensed and all of that. So, yeah, actually, I got licensed sober. Yeah. But my degrees, I did get them. Actually, my master's, I got it when I was sober. So that's kind of cool. I just kind of put that together.
Did you get sober when you took your leave?
Yes. Yes. So what I did is I went to go see my psychiatrist. And so we had a long talk, and he's like, okay, I think it's time. It's time to go to inpatient or outpatient, what works for you. And again, I had a mommy, and my husband was working. And so I had to take my daughters to school. I was in charge. I was a home manager. And I was like, I can do outpatient. Where I can come, you know, in the evening and just, you know, set in. So he's like, okay, let's do that. I was able to talk about medication and address the PTSD, right? Get on some antidepressants and kind of work through some of that just in the moment, because I needed it in the moment. So that was really helpful. And then I started drug counseling with this awesome counselor over at Kaiser in Fontana. I think he's retired by now, but his name was Gary, and he was amazing. I needed that type of counselor. I was so anxious when I went in to go see him, and he's kind of sitting like that, like Chad, like just very matter of fact, like, and I'm like, you know, I'm having panic attacks, and he's like, what's wrong? It's just anxiety. Do you want to get up? Like, do you want to get up and dance and move it around? You want to go out and like walk? And I was like, what? It made me see anxiety in a different way, like energy, right? It was so strange. Like, I've been studying all of this, but when he did and when he said it that way, it just kind of activated something in me. And I'm like, oh, it's a lot of energy. Let's kind of work this out. But he was a great counselor. And so then he introduced me to the rooms of like Alcoholics Anonymous. They would have a meeting there. And so I started there. And that's where I found my sponsor. And I actually meet with her tomorrow because we're celebrating my 13th sobriety birthday. So I meet with her tomorrow, and another sober sister. But I've had the same sponsor also since I found her at like 4 months sober.
Me too.
Yeah.
I met mine at 23. She's still with me.
Isn't that cool? We're kind of lucky.
We are very lucky.
That I hear that doesn't happen.
You're the only other person that I know that I have encountered with the same one when they started.
Same. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like I'm very proud of that.
Me too.
Because it's like, I think as sponsors and sponsees, we go through friction and through different things. And it's like, well, that's what we're there for.
Sure.
That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I love my sponsor. I'm so thankful for her. She would want me to maybe check in more often.
Sure, mine too.
Okay.
Like it's the same. I mean, it's funny because I had a call with mine this morning.
Oh.
Did you call her?
Did you?
I did.
Oh, okay. Just
good.
checking.
Okay.
But
yeah,
I've been really good actually this past
day, 24 hours.
No, it's been like probably a month and a half that I've been really good with checking, because I would go like, I'm supposed to do a weekly letter because, you know, I'm with you. I'm approaching 13 years myself.
Yeah.
So your sponsorship kind of goes a little bit differently than it was when I was like first sober, you know? So that's why I agree with mine would like me to check in a lot more, but I have been in the last like month and a half. But that's usually what happens though, is like usually we start feeling uncomfortable and things start feeling out of whack. So what do? I have to turn back into my program.
Right. Exactly.
The first thing that always is the one thing that is lessening in my life.
Right.
That is why feelings of whatever is going on. So turn back to that, and shit seems to always miraculously work out.
It works, right?
Works.
I love that you say that because it's true. I think when I find myself kind of stuck, that stinking thinking, right? Even though I don't crave alcohol, I don't crave drugs, we still get in our head, right? Yep. And I think the other day it was like just for today. I think I read that. And I'm like, oh, wow. that was all I needed in that moment. It's a program. The program is very helpful.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
I read Just for Today every morning.
I used to read it every morning, and see, now I kind of fell off. I like your the Jesus Calling ones that you post. Yeah. There's different things, right, that we can use that kind of keep us grounded.
Yeah,
For sure.
I do that one too. The only reason why I start back on the Just for Today is I have a guy that I'm working with, and I send it to him every morning. So I read it first, and then I send it to him, and then I require him to do a gratitude list every day. So I send him my gratitude list. Whoever's up first usually sends it, but it's usually almost always me.
Yeah.
But see, that's the awesome part, right, of healing in community and having a sponsor that it keeps you on your toes.
It does.
It keeps
Yeah.
you on
We have to.
We have to.
And it says it in our book. We rest on our laurels. I've been a perfect example of doing just so. And I will continue to do that if I don't stay on top of it.
Same.
And be like, self-aware of these character defects of mine I like to just kind of harbor and then all of a sudden pop up. But I heard this one woman, it was really, really good. The other day I heard her say, because, I think why I love what we do and what you do is because a lot of people right now, especially in this day and age, like they need a lot of hope, because there's a lot of hopeless people that are out there thinking that, they're either, whether it's with addiction or not, just feeling depressed or unmotivated or whatever it may be. And that's definitely not the case. But I heard this woman, and she gave it to pretty straight, and I've heard myself feel it and like even just say the thoughts in my own head about feeling stuck. I just feel stuck. I feel stuck. And it's like, no, bitch, you're not stuck. You're comfortable with where you're at, because when you are so desperate, you move. And I am like that. When I am in so much pain, I move. When I'm in so much pain and can't handle my own thinking and my own thoughts or how I'm being, I'll start my program back up like I'm supposed to. Yeah. I'll call my sponsor. I'll go to a meeting. But when you're stuck, or this so-called like, I'm just where I'm at. It's like, yeah, because you're comfy.
Yeah, you're comfy. And you want to stay comfy.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
No action behind that to do anything except staying right where you are.
Right.
And for whatever reason, it hit me the other day when I heard her, and I was like, damn,
that's a
you're
good
right.
one.
It's pretty spot on.
Yeah, that's really good. Well, we see that all the time.
Sure.
I mean, I see it all the time in my practice, right? It's like we meet them where they're at, but it's like, okay, that's fine. That's part of the process too.
And you're just saying the same thing. Like you're in a circle. You're saying the same problem.
It's a cycle.
Over and over and over again of like this woe me, victim me. And just in case, like, yes, there's going to be some issues that are unfortunately should not have happened, or it does suck that they have. Yeah. Well, what are we going to do about it?
There you go. We're not responsible for like the trauma that happened to us, but we are responsible
100%.
Like you got to heal. You can't stay in victim mentality. We have
especially
to
as adults.
I think especially now too. It's like we're reaching these different we're reaching different levels of awareness
for sure
with people, right? Like if you see, and sometimes it feels like we're speaking different languages. Like
I know,
right?
Yeah.
So different levels of awareness, and I think the more the levels of awareness rise, people. I don't think you could do it without being semi-clean and sober,
right?
You know what I mean? So I think you're right. People are going to need this a lot more. Mm-hmm. I mean, they need it now, but still more in the future. Mm-hmm. That's why I love what you guys are doing. The recovering out loud. I think you said something like, if people hear my story and they can see my background. I don't come from a very good background, right? Not the most promising background. And I struggled with it. And then I still was able to, get sober and make it through. And I still have a level of success that I was able to accomplish. And it's like, you get to see that recovery does happen. It's not just like, sometimes people have this stereotype, right, of what people in recovery or drug addicts or alcoholics look like. You guys, you being a very successful businessman, you know what you've done. And it's like, I think for people to be able to hear our stories is so cool.
Mm-hmm. It's extremely important because like, if you hear my whole story, it's like I was a doctor's kid. So I came from a really great place. And then we had some shit that happened in our lives where they lost everything. And I was on the streets homeless from like 18 to 22 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Not like shopping cart homeless, but like,
Yeah.
hustling on the streets, selling meth, doing whatever I could do to maybe get in a Motel 6 or the Colton Inn
Yeah.
over there by Fiesta Village.
Dang, you were over there. I know Fiesta Village.
Yeah, I was over there. I was my main like stomp, like where I grew up was Barton Road in the 215 right there. There's a
Okay.
little skating rink there called Cal
Yeah.
Skate Grand Terrace.
Oh, yes.
But like I had friends all from Fontana, all the way down to Yucaipa. Was like
That was your crowd.
that
Those
was
were your
my
stomping
that was my
grounds.
stomping grounds. I mean, we were all over the place. And then at the very end of my my disease, right before my daughter was born, is when I just ended up. It was weird times in the year 2000, and the meth had dried up in San Bernardino, and I got this, found that girl Connect in La Puente, and I was picking it up and taking it back down and
Oh. So that's
running
that's
amok,
where it was coming from. No, I'm just kidding.
running amok.
Running him. Yeah.
Yeah.
All been there, done that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then the outpatient is what.
So the outpatient was what helped me get sober. Yeah, for sure.
Is that where you found the rooms?
It
Did
is.
somebody say, "Hey, go to a meeting"?
Yeah, my
Her counselor.
counselor, Gary. Yeah.
Gary.
The one that made me kind of, do you want to go run
Yeah,
around?
he's like, yeah, you have anxiety. What do you want to do about it? Move your body.
Exactly.
Change your state.
Because I'll tell you what, I had gone to other therapists, and one was a female, and she was so sweet, very kind, but I was like, oh no, it's just not.
Yeah,
I
no.
needed that.
Yeah.
I needed his. I think he also said something. He's like, I was looking at your scores, and it. Yeah, that's where he got me. He's like, I was looking at your scores, and it looks like you might not be able to stay sober. And I was like, oh, really? What the fuck?
Yeah.
I might
Oh,
not. Yeah.
What? But that stayed in my head. And in my own way, I'm competitive with myself, not with others, right? And it's like, oh, I'm going to show you. I'm going to do this. So part of it, that had a little bit to do with it. It gave me that like fire.
Yeah.
Give me that fire to keep going. And so I'd listen in on the groups, and that was cool. And I'd get all the education. That was really important. So I, became aware of some stuff within me. And then in counseling also with Gary. Again, he was awesome. Awesome. He's like, okay, come here. I'm going to take you to your meeting. They have a meeting right now. I'm like, okay. So he like walked me, and I'm like, okay, this is, I could do this. And, yeah, and that's what I do, and that's what kept me. I'll say what really I think kept me sober was, and I talked about this last time with you, Chad, is really working the steps.
Yeah.
Like that's where I think the miracle happens. Like for me, it did. One of the hardest ones was step 1, though. I guess maybe for all, I don't know, for all of us, but I struggled, being that I'm a therapist, and like I can be very cognitive behavioral therapy.
Sure.
What you think, becomes reality. So I struggled with saying I'm an alcoholic. Because then I was like, oh, then I'm defeated. And
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, it was like a whole like mental gymnastics thing that I would do with myself with step 1 until finally I was like, okay, stop. Like you are powerless. Okay. Right. I'm an alcoholic and I'm powerless. And the first time I did it and I said it, it was like, I felt very relieved.
What I think a lot of people don't realize though about like step 1 is like we surrender to win. We surrender to actually get our power back. We surrender because like today I'm not powerless, right? Today I could if you threw meth on the table today, I have a choice whether to pick that up and put it in my arm or not. But when I'm getting loaded, when that shit's already in my body, there's no way.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way I'm not saying no. There's no way I'm not scooping a whole bunch of that off the table and taking off, and like it's like, and my life's not unmanageable today either. Like But if I get loaded, my life becomes unmanageable. If I do bizarre behaviors, my life gets unmanageable. You know, and then we can always go back to step one. That's what's cool about step one. It's super important though to surrender that, like me, to the very fact, and I think it says it in the Alcoholics Anonymous book. I do NA, so I don't. But I hear this sometimes. It's like,
you know, the AA book too, so stop it.
I mean,
it's like
similar, no?
They are,
but okay.
Yeah,
they're quite similar. They really are.
Okay.
We just wrote ours in 1980s English or 1970s English and not
Something like that.
1930s.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I mean they're totally different the
Okay.
way they're written and everything. It's totally, but it's the steps, man, and it's
Yeah.
like that at the end of the day, you know, if I get loaded, I'm done. Like I can't stop. I don't have a stop button. And I forget what it says in the Alcoholics Anonymous book, but it talks about, you know, can we surrender to something about surrendering to the very fact that we are an alcoholic? Something along those lines, it says.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's when it happens, right? When you surrender, it's like, at least for me, it was like, okay, I'm an alcoholic. And even the first time I went to the meeting and said it, it felt a little awkward, but it felt real.
I think it's hard.
It's
know,
hard.
it's hard. It's a hard
Pill to swallow.
It is. I think for multiple reasons, from having so much, I guess I can speak for myself, of having like pride within yourself, or that self-esteem or that ego of like, oh my God, I failed.
Right.
Or thinking it as such a almost a shameful thing to have to finally like hit my knees and surrender. And then I'm Mexican Italian, so I feel like in our culture, it's drinking and doing whatever is just so accustomed to it.
It's so normalized.
It's
right?
so normalized, and it's not like there's a lot of shame around myself to even have to tell my parents, even though they knew, because I got myself in a lot of trouble. But there's just like this magnitude of shame that I was going to bring to the family.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
When in hindsight, you know, my parents, I mean, they log on to our Recover Out Loud meeting. It's the cutest thing ever.
That's
you know,
so
they're
sweet.
so proud of the fact that, you know, we do this and we recover out loud and have a voice. But I think at one time,
Yeah.
they probably did struggle with, oh, what are the Joneses going to think of my daughter? Like, I failed as a parent or something
Sure.
like that. When it's a disease, it has nothing. There's things from our childhood that probably environmental elements could play a part, but at the end of the day, you can have the best. I think my parents are the best, and I still came out an addict and an alcoholic.
Yeah.
You know, and it has nothing to do with.
It doesn't discriminate.
It doesn't. It doesn't
You know?
matter who you are, where you're from, how much money you got,
No.
how little you got.
Right.
It'll if it wants you,
Who
got
your
it.
connections
you.
were,
Who your-
what you
your
have done in the
connects were.
past,
Yeah.
how much or how little you have, but only in what you want to do about your problem and how we can help.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think that's so beautiful, like with your parents who follow up on your recovery and like encourage you and sit in on like the meeting. Like, they don't have
His
to.
mom too.
That's very cool. Like they don't have to.
No, they don't.
And you get that. And I think that's like how you said, even families, because it's a family disease.
It is.
And so they go through these whole processes of like, did I do something wrong? Did
Sure.
I mess up? And they go through their own kind of,
Totally.
you know, grief as well. And then, but like your parents stuck around and they're like, well, what can I learn? How can I help my children? Right. And they continued. And I think that's amazing. That's like supportive. That's great. I wish my mom would do that.
I mean, we're lucky. And my dad, you know, I never got to meet my grandfather because he died of cirrhosis of the liver. My dad watched him die, and it's a horrible death, you know, to die of alcoholism. And so that's why it is so sweet that they do log on, because they hear all these stories. So I can only imagine like my dad hearing some things from some of these guys that share about either things that they're walking through, and he never had an outlet. Like, that's why our Recover Out Loud is so important to us, because it's open to everyone, including non-addicts or alcoholics. It's to the parents that have lost loved ones, to whether it's alcohol or just substance abuse, but it's also to boyfriends, girlfriends, or anybody that wants to know a little bit more about the disease, or anybody teetering on the fence whether or not they are one.
Yeah.
Because everybody is suffering of something, you know, have some pain. And so I think it probably is, in a weird way, kind of healing for my dad too, because he was a little boy and had no one.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I bet when they sit in, there's so much healing and there's so much like connecting the dots and understanding things in their own way, where if this stuff, these behaviors of drinking were very normalized, you didn't really have the assistance. And when we're talking about Alcoholics Anonymous, these anonymous groups, like, well, who's getting help? Yeah. Right? Where are they? Yeah. They're hiding.
Right.
They're anonymous.
They're in the basement. Yeah.
They're in the basement.
They used to be in the basement.
Yeah.
You know, they used to be that. But like, you know, and it's always, there's always that other thing too, because, you know, we have this tradition that we must remain anonymous at the level of press, radio, and films. You know, and what does that mean? Sitting here on a podcast, because now we are these didn't exist back then, but like recovering out loud, but I've actually worked the tradition, so I do know what it means. It means that you know, when I step up to this microphone, I am not in any way, shape, or form representing Alcoholics Anonymous as a whole. You know, nor am I, you know, telling people, but the thing is that like somewhere along the line, nor am I promoting it. I'm not promoting it. I'm just telling you what worked for me. And because of this 12-step program, I'm living a life beyond my wildest imagination. I never imagined my life would be like this. Like, all I imagined was that I was going to continue sticking needles in my arm for the rest of my life. And that's how I thought I was going to live, because that's the only way I was comfortable. But these steps have made me comfortable inside of my skin.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but most of the time. Like, most of the time, I'm okay.
That feels good.
It feels amazing.
Yeah.
Because I never did before.
Right.
That I can recall, that I remember. I can go all the way back to being the little shy boy that hid behind my mom's leg.
Oh.
And was too afraid to ask somebody for anything.
You were a little shy boy?
Oh, yeah.
Aw. Well, look at you. You should be so proud of yourself. Doing a whole podcast.
Just kidding.
No, that's so cool. But, wow.
But I mean, you know, like, it's like life's the program's amazing. And I always go back to, in the Alcoholics Anonymous book, it says, you know, this book is for whatever. And, you know, basically it's saying and I'm not word for word, I'm Chad phrasing it. When this book was written, we only knew this much, is what they're saying. We only knew this much. They didn't know how life was going to be in 2026 in 1930.
When was it? Yeah.
6. No.
19. Wasn't it 1929?
29. It was way back.
Pretty early. Yeah.
A long time ago.
Like 29 or something 9.
We can chat GPT that all day long, figure it out.
Well, how much things were going to be changing.
Life is different, man.
Yeah.
Drugs are different. People are dying at a rapid pace, you know, and I'll be damned if anybody's going to tell me anything, because, like, you know, I'm just recovering out loud. I lost my son-in-law to fentanyl. I know what it feels like to get a phone call that a family member has died.
1938 or 19. It was published 1939.
1939.
39. So.
Oh, I said 29.
You said 29.
You were close.
I knew.
But pretty far off. Only 10 years.
It was
She's
written
like,
in 38.
see, that's one of those things where people like are nice to you and don't tell you the truth. Like, you were way off, bro.
29, 39. I don't know. I'm like the 939.
Right, Emily? Huh?
Emily just goes along with you.
No, not always, but like, we got this little funny thing about how everybody's always so nice to Natalie.
I'm a nice person.
She is a nice person.
Thank you.
I bet people are nice to you too.
They are.
I don't know.
Sonia, he needs to sit on your couch.
I think so. I think I need to brain spot you.
Okay, I wanted to ask.
I got
how
lots
do you
of spots on my brain.
How
How do I brain spot? You want
Yeah,
to talk about brain
like,
spotting?
what
Brain
is-
spotting is my specialty, and it's been life-changing for myself personally and professionally, and also for a lot of my patients. Brain spotting is it's my little brain spotter.
what?
It's like a little pointer.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you guys, I'll explain it to you how I explain it to my patients. So it's a body brain based technique. You guys have heard of EMDR?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is based from EMDR. I'm biased. I prefer brain spotting because the motto of brain spotting says that your body and your brain are intelligent and they naturally know how to heal itself. It just needs to be guided through a brain spot. So I work with like these targets, okay, or like people who have phobias that have never been, like, gosh, it's been forever and I can't get rid of this. It's for performance, it's for creativity, and it's for trauma. So the way it works is we pick something, right? Like, let's say it's I don't know, anger. Okay. And so I have my patient, and one of the things I do first, it's called like front loading, right? Where I'm just talking to the front part of the brain. And front loading, it's like, okay, tell me about your anger. Like, what's up? What's going on? You get angry all the time. Why? When was the last time you got angry? And so then they'll start talking. Well, I got angry because of this and that and whatever. And then I'm trying to get them to talk about it so they can get activated. So activated just means like, when you get a panic attack, you're like
Sure.
at a past a 10, right? So activation, I teach them like, okay, how activated are you? Like on a scale from 0 to 10 in, anger wise right now, as you're talking about it, what number are you at? And they'll say like 5, 4, whatever. So I get them, we're talking until I get them to an 8, until I get them activated to an 8. So once I get them activated to an 8, I'm like, okay, so where in your body do you feel it? And for people who are not connected to their body at all, it's like, okay, let's get you connected, right? So where do you feel it? Here. And it's like, a lot of the times it's here. It's heart, throat, heart chakra. So it's a stomach, a lot in the stomach too, right? And so it's like, okay, we're ready to brain spot once I get them there. And what I do is I find the brain spot, right? I'm trained, and it's on the y-axis and the x-axis. And so I attune myself really well to my patients. And I hold it up. I use their field of vision. So it's like I would use your field of vision. And once we're at an 8, I'm like, okay, you don't have to do anything. It's not like hypnosis. All you got to do is just stare and follow it. But you need to blink like your regular self, right? And so they're like, okay. And so then I start going, and I'm like really attuned. Ooh, I found one in you right now. But I'm really attuning myself. And then basically your body, your eyes, it'll be something within you that I will pick up on, and it will tell me there's a memory there. And then I'll find it across here. And then I'm like, okay, so now let me go up here. Sorry, I brought my shorter one today. But usually it's like, I'm like, it goes up until I can see there. Oh. Right? And then I'll stop it there. I'm like, okay, we found the brain spot. And then I'll keep it here. We're going to stay here. We're going to go on a little journey for like 25, 30 minutes. We're going to hang out until I get you all the way back down. Because essentially what I'm doing is a lot of triggers and past memories will come up that have been stuck, like energy stuck, trauma energy stuck in your body. And so we're able to kind of like release it. But other really cool things come up during brain spotting, right? So if we were working on anger, a patient might say, what I usually do is I say, I'm going to stay quiet. I'm just kind of here guiding you through it. But I want you to remain open and curious. And nothing is random. So if you get like a word or a visual or a dream or anything, you want to talk about it. That we want to explore that further, because that's a key to deeper healing. And so it'll be like, for example, I see, and this is not true patient information, right? This is like an example. Like I see myself as a little kid, and I'm this. And so we're able to unlock some of the stuff that's been stuck. And it's like, it really feels like we go on a little journey. And during the whole time, I'm also checking in and out with them. Okay, how activated are you now? And so sometimes it'll go real high. Oh, I'm really up there. I'm like, I know it feels uncomfortable, but this is good because we're moving that stagnant energy out of your body. So it's also it's psychological, it's talk therapy, but it's also like body. So then they go, sometimes they're like at a 3 or at a 2. They're like, oh my God, I feel so calm. I feel like it's all gone. So sometimes they go into very Zen levels and sometimes it goes up and down. That's all very normal with brain spotting. It's all science too. And what I have noticed is that with regular like talk therapy, it's just very cognitive, right? So with talk therapy, it might take working on anger like maybe 7 months, and we're working on it and we're working on these skills, right? With brain spotting, because we're able to kind of get to the root of the problem, like where did this come from? It usually stems from childhood, right? So we're able to do that. It's almost like it gets kind of resolved maybe within 2 to 3 months, maybe even sooner. It's really cool. Very powerful.
That's
Nice.
cool.
And then there's also like this, it's like a spiritual aspect to it too. So it's, yeah.
There you go, Emily.
That's my
That's your
special.
next. That's your next.
Oh yeah.
That's your next sessions.
I'm super into it.
Some
love it.
some
Oh my-
brain. Emily loves therapy.
Brain spotting?
Emily loves therapy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Not that none of us do. I just.
Yo, Emily, you would love
I'm
brain
healed.
spotting.
Yeah, I was really connecting to your movements. I was like super into the screen. I was like,
I was
Well,
following her.
I did.
Sure.
I
No,
purposely
Natalie,
didn't follow
you
it.
were
I didn't want her to
following.
find a
I
spot.
was.
I've got a couple of little spots on you, but I mean, obviously, we're not going to do that. That's not right.
Oh,
here,
we know
but-
what's going on with her. It's just I purposely didn't look though, because like I got some spots right now. I need.
Wait, what
need
do
to
the
fucking-
spots mean?
The spot means that you have something there that needs to be worked through.
Yeah.
That's it. And it could be something like, I don't know, anything that might be dealing with like maybe a little bit anxiety or a little bit of, I don't know. I'd have
My
to.
divorce.
Oh, well, there you go. So I'd have to look a little bit.
That's
more
what she,
into it.
that's bullshit. That's what she go. That's her go to.
No, but it
There's-
is.
there-
It's
the divorce
ongoing.
is there's something much deeper and rooted in this divorce thing than it is. I know trauma. I know therapy. I've been around it my whole life. The divorce is the distraction. Look over here. It's my divorce.
Wait, so, but wait, are you saying that it's deeper because of the divorce, or like it's more deep rooted in the divorce, and the divorce is just the head?
The divorce is not even really the issue.
Oh, you're saying the divorce is just surface level.
Surface level.
And there's a lot deeper underneath that we still have to
totally.
explore.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, Chad. He seems to know you very well, Natalie.
What do you mean?
I don't know what it is because I don't know what your trauma is. I don't know what's happened. It happened to you in your 20s, 30s. I don't know what happened to you in your teenage years. I don't know any of that stuff.
Oh.
But it's always typically like trauma can go like for me, mine went all the way back to like, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's where the real root cause of it was, and that's where the destruction happened in my life. That's where that's what kept me from like really connecting with people and not trusting people and then you put yourself in relationships or marriages that you shouldn't be in because of that stuff, not because of and the divorce, although might be painful. So you might connect yourself to somebody who is similar to the person that caused you that trauma.
Absolutely. That's usually what we do when we don't heal, right? We end up attracting somebody who was like maybe one of our parents, and it's so
and like abuse
we're really-
and abuse, just so people understand, like you don't have to be fucking sexually abused to
Correct.
you could have like just somebody who like hurt your feelings, and it can be just as it's like the thing about trauma is it's perception of it and how it made you feel,
Right.
versus how actually traumatic and bad it was to the rest of the world.
Yeah. Correct.
I mean, verbal abuse is like pretty fucking
It's
damaging.
verbal
it
and
is
verbal and
awful.
emotional is sometimes just as gnarly as physical,
For
because
sure, 'cause
physical
you
you're
can't
like
see it.
you're
I
not
agree.
feeling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like the gaslighting.
and it stays with you. It
Oh,
stays
gaslight.
with you.
Oh,
Gaslighting.
the gaslighting is like the.
Why you point at me?
Why do you point at Natalie?
Why do you point?
Do you hate that word, Natalie?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Why you point at me?
Like she's
Divorce.
a victim?
No. Yeah. Victim of gaslighting.
Oh.
Oh, yeah?
So, well, that'll gaslighting does a number on us women.
Yeah.
You know, it requires more healing of the brain. We end up like doubting ourselves. I'm an expert at narcissistic abuse recovery too, because unfortunately,
You need to work with her.
oh gosh, he's so Chad. No, but
Yeah.
it's like he's trying to call you out.
Oh, he does it often.
Yeah,
We're
Your
like-
turn.
We're like
Yeah.
brother and sister.
Exactly.
She
I'm
called
used to it.
me out the fucking other day. We're all we're
Yeah,
good
you
right
guys
now.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's probably gonna call me out later when I don't, depends on
But you
whether
know
she's
what?
gonna be here when I get back or not.
But you know what I see? I think that's really neat because like you know her. You're seeing
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I
Like
mean
pointing it
we're
out,
we're
and I
we're
love that.
we're,
That's how we help each
we're
other.
together a lot. You know, like not that it's like you get to know somebody's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I do. I specialize in brain spotting. I try to give the message, right? And like I was talking last time, I don't go to as many AA meetings as I used to before, but I check in. I'm big at like staying spiritually fit
Sure.
and really
That's the
connected with God.
That's the most important
I think
part,
so. I
man.
think so.
I you know like
I agree.
you know
agree
I've heard people in my program say stuff like meeting makers make it, and I've seen them get loaded because what I believe is that people that work the steps and work on their spiritual maintenance, because what it actually says in the Alcoholics Anonymous book, and I think I can do this one word for word, we have a daily reprieve based on our spiritual maintenance. I believe that's exactly what it says. Now, however we get that daily reprieve, that spiritual maintenance is it can look different for everybody. You know, it doesn't have to. What I love about the program is the steps. You know, the steps is the program, just so people know. And I say this in my meetings all the time when I'm sharing, is like, you know, the meeting is the fellowship. Going to a meeting doesn't mean you're working a program.
No.
I
It means
often-
that you're hanging out and doing the fellowshipping of the program.
You know, I often have to tell a lot of like my patients, and I have to like provide psychoeducation on, no, meetings is a meeting. It's good, but it's not a program.
No.
You're not working a program. You have to really work the steps and get with the sponsor. I think there's a lot of confusion with that.
There is.
You know?
That's why I do it at meetings, because like, you know, the best thing that ever happened in my life
was the steps.
was the steps.
Same.
You know,
It's
like
just like, this is a perfect analogy. It's, you want to lose weight, right? You want to get healthy. You go to the gym, but you don't go to a machine. You don't walk on the treadmill. You don't take a class, and then you leave.
yeah,
Same
well,
with
yeah,
a
you
meeting.
can totally go to the gym, and like, especially like the gym that we go to, like it is like hangout central. You could go there and just talk for an hour to all the people that are there, and go from person to person to person to person,
And
and
never do one
never
thing.
do a
Yeah.
workout. And are
Same
you
with the
are you
meeting.
working out?
See, I never
exactly, and
see-
same with a meeting. You can go have a cigarette and say, "Oh, what's up?" and talk to people. Are you participating, like really participating in a meeting? Are you sharing, or are you going up to the new guy and being like, "Hey, here's my number"? And I only say that because I've done that before. I've walked into a meeting and sat in the back like a brat and didn't want to participate. Just took what I could hear and said, "You guys are all crazy. I'm out of here." You know. So it's like, there's a big difference of being a participant or just being someone that's like, yeah, checking the box, going to
Yeah.
a meeting.
Right.
Anyways, Sonia, this has been an amazing podcast.
Looks like I need to go
I
to
have
her
to
for
have
therapy.
to shut her down
Yeah.
today, and
Where can people, before we end, where can people find you?
Yeah,
you have your podcast as well.
I do. I have So I have Go Amor, Your Therapist Friend. That's on Apple and Spotify. It's bilingual, English and Spanish, and it's all mental health.
Yeah.
Awareness. Okay. It's free, like therapy stuff, psychoeducation. And then I just recently was given an opportunity to go on, it's called oyeturadio.net, and bring guests on. Nice. And so like talk about, it's called Soul to Soul. So like soul to soul, sun. Yeah. So kind of, we've had some cool guests on there recently, and they just kind of share their stories. They're resilient kind of story. And you can find me on so my website, if anybody's interested in brain spotting, right? www.sonia, Sonia, and then Guilfoos is Guilfoos. Then it's lcsw.com. So that's my website with all my services and even like my podcast and stuff. And then I'm on Instagram too. I'm on Instagram under I am Sonia G. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so
guys.
much.
Thank you
thanks
guys.
for coming in. This was an awesome podcast.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.